How's it going, everybody? So if you work on an online business, you know what MAU is, or monthly active users. It's a distinct count of customers that interact with your business on a monthly basis. And in the demo business behind me, you can see that there are about 8,000 monthly active users. So what we're going to do is we're going to enhance this analysis to answer two primary questions. Of our 8,000 monthly active users, what percentage of them log in daily and weekly? So we will accomplish that by adding the gray and orange trend lines to this analysis. As you can see in this demo business, about 15% of monthly active users log in daily and about 45% log in weekly. So let's head over to MySQL and I'll show you how to do this. Okay, we're going to start with a date table. Let me pull a few records. Now what we want to do is look at our metrics. We're looking at a count of customers daily, weekly, and monthly. And between the three, our broadest metric is monthly or trailing 30 or MAU. So because of that, we need to ensure that we have enough historical or trailing data when we recreate this analysis. So in order to help us with that, we're going to use a window function to identify the earliest date in this date table. So we will do a min date over like so, and we're not going to use a partition because we just want to take a straight min across all dates and see what the resulting value is. And I believe the min date in the date table is September 22nd, 2022. That's the date that this online business went live, and you'll see that value gets scribed onto every record in the date table. Okay, cool. So here are all of our dates, and then you see that min date value of September 22nd, 2022 scribed onto every single record. Great, that's exactly what we want. Let's put this all in a subselect. We can call it dates. Now, to ensure we have a full trailing 30 days of data per date, we're going to have to add the following logic in our where clause. So where the date diff between our date and the min date is greater than or equal to 29. You're probably wondering why we're doing a greater than or equal to 29 instead of 30 since we're doing a trailing 30 days. The reason why is because we want to include this date here and then the trailing 29 records, which equals a total of 30. And after we run this logic right here, you'll see that any dates prior to October 21st, 2022 will get dropped because there aren't a full trailing 30 days of data behind them. So because of that, we would have an incomplete mal metric, etc., etc. Okay, great. You see that here where the very first date in our date table is now October 21st, 2022. Everything prior to that got dropped because those dates were too close to this online business's launch date and there wasn't a full trailing 30 days of data behind it. Now, we don't need our min date column anymore because we're using it in our where clause. So this is essentially all we need. Just a column of dates. We can call this entire subselect data dates. Works for me. We'll bring across our date column. Now the next thing we want to do is bring across our customers and their logins, and start aggregating that information. So we're going to have to go to fact player logins as our table in this demo business. And this is just customer logins, right? So for each date, we want to count, okay, what was the DAU? What was the WAU, weekly active users? And then what was the MAU, the monthly active users? And of course, this is on a trailing basis. So the number of users that logged in on this date, on the trailing 7 days, and then trailing 30 days as rolling metrics. So we will do a left join over to this logins table right here. We can call it logins. On logins.login date is less than or equal to this date right here. And we added the equal to part because that will allow us to basically calculate DAU. How many customers logged in on that specific day. And then we will do and this login date right here has to be greater than date add $30 days ago from this date up here. So what this join is doing is it's bringing across customers and their login dates, where the login date is less than or equal to this date, but greater than 30 days ago. And that'll allow us to basically calculate DAU for that day, thanks to this equal sign here. And then DAU over a trailing 7 days, so weekly, wow. And then basically, if we just do a count, this join right here is opened up in such a way where it's bringing across customers and their logins over a trailing 30 days relative to the value of this date up here. Cool. So let's get at it. So we will do this. First, we're going to do DAU, daily active users, case when this login date is literally equal to this date, then we're going to count the customers from table 2 or from our login table. So we'll do logins.customer ID. Okay, now we need to count the number of unique customers over a trailing 7-day basis. So that's for WAU, weekly active users. And all we need to do is basically just take this logic here and kind of change it. So we will say case when, instead of 30, we're going to change that to 7 days. Then count the customers from table 2. Okay. And then we have to count the number of unique customers over a trailing 30-day basis for MAU, monthly active users. You would think we would need logic similar to this, but we don't, because the logic in the join takes care of it. It's already stipulating, hey, for each one of these dates, bring across customers and their logins between this date and 30 days ago to get MAU. So all we simply need to do is take this and just count the customers from table 2, count distinct. And then because it's a case statement aggregate, we need to group it. And here is our finished query, so let's run this now. All right, everybody, so here is our data. We have daily active users, trailing 7-day customers in the form of WAU, weekly active users, and then a count of customers over a trailing 30 days, or MAU, monthly active users, per day. So this is rolling information, especially for the WAU and MAU metrics. So let's move this over to Excel. Okay, so the very first thing you'll notice is that our data starts October 21st, 2022. Remember, this demo online business launched September 22nd, 2022, but October 21st, 2022 is the first date in our data where we have a full trailing 30 days behind it. So great, let's add the metrics that we're most interested in. So we'll do percent of MAU login daily. And then we'll do percent MAU login weekly. And then we can just do DAU divided by MAU. And then weekly active users, or WAU, divided by MAU. Okay. Call this date. We're interested in our MAU, and let's grab our data to recreate that analysis. Okay, let's add a dual axes. Let's make MAU a area chart. And then percent that login daily and weekly, we'll put that on another axis. Okay, I love doing an analysis like this because it shows you an opportunity, right? So rather than just looking at MAU and knowing that you have about 8,000 customers that log in monthly, now you know that only about 45% of that MAU logs in weekly. So if you look at the inverse of that, you know, wow, we have 55% of people who interact with your business monthly don't even log in on a weekly basis. That's a huge opportunity, and you would only see that if you did this extra bit of work in analysis starting from your MAU chart. If you like this content, please continue to like, subscribe, and share. I will make sure to put the MySQL and Excel practice files in links in the description. Thank you very much for joining today's session.